Lençois Maranhenses, arguably the most impressive sand dunes in the world, located in the northeast of Brazil. This is one of Brazil's top destinations, but how do you get here by public transport? There is not a lot of information online for English speakers to get here, so I wanted to make this video to give you a step-by-step guide on getting to the national park. Now, firstly, before you even plan your trip to the national park, you need to know that you can only enter the national park with a tour guide. You have to book a tour. This here is the tour that I did. I've put a link to this tour down below in the description and the comment section for you to use. They pick you up from your hotel between 8:30 and 9 a.m. and then you go off. You see two of the famous lakes there. You have a lunch break in between and you see a wonderful sunset at the end of the tour. I do recommend booking the tour in advance because tickets may sell out, especially in high season. Now, in terms of the city or town that you need to get to in order for you to go and see the national park, you need to get to this town called Barreirinhas, or they would pronounce it in Brazil something like Barreirinhas. And the link that I put in the description and the comment section picks you up from hotels in this town. So if you are renting a car, then you can just literally head to this town. But if you're not renting a car and you're using public transport, what options do you have? So firstly, I'm going to give you the option that I took, and this is not the option that I recommend, but this is something that you can do. So the first option is you could fly into Fortaleza. Fortaleza is one of the biggest cities in the entire country, and it does have an international airport. So you do get regular flights from Sao Paulo, Rio, the south of the country, and generally it isn't too expensive to fly into Fortaleza if you book your flight tickets a few weeks, a few months maybe in advance. Then you need to take an Uber to the terminal Rodoviário de Fortaleza. This is the Fortaleza bus terminal. On your Uber application, it may come up as the Rodoviário Engenheiro João Tome. There is another bus terminal a little bit out of the city, but this terminal on the screen is the nearest to the airport and the nearest to Fortaleza, the city centre. And then when you arrive into the terminal, you're going to see this bus company Guanabara straight in front of you. You go into the store. You can go to these machines and buy your ticket on the machines and type in your destination as Barreirinhas. Now, at the time I record this video, the buses from Fortaleza to Barreirinhas run at 9 a.m. in the morning, and it is also likely that when you arrive at the bus terminal, the bus tickets to Barreirinhas may be sold out on the day that you arrive, or maybe a couple of days after you arrive. So if you take this option, plan to stay in Fortaleza for a few days. There are some nice beaches there, good restaurants, good food. When you buy your tickets at those machines, do not lose any receipt that you get printed out, because one of those receipts has a barcode that allows you to get to the embarking area for your bus, and the other barcode is the actual ticket to let you onto the bus. So do not lose any bit of paper that you get from that machine. Now, obviously, it would make more logical sense to buy your bus tickets in advance instead of going to the bus terminal and buying the tickets at the bus terminal. But the problem is this: if you try and book your bus tickets directly on the Guanabara website, you won't be able to do it because you need a Brazilian CPF number and a Brazilian CEP, which is basically a Brazilian postcode, and CEPs in Brazil are 100% numerical. So if you come from a country where postcodes are alphanumerical, such as the UK, you can't put in letters into this field. The field on the website will only accept numbers, so you can't book online with the company directly. You can try to use the BusBud website, which is a third-party bus website where you can buy tickets, and generally 99% of the time in Brazil, BusBud does work, and it worked for virtually every journey I took in Brazil, apart from the journey from Fortaleza to Barreirinhas. For some reason, the payment was just not working, and it just did not allow me to book a ticket for this journey. So you're probably going to have to go to the bus terminal and buy the tickets if you're going to take this option. So that's the first problem about this option. The second problem, as you can tell on the screen, this is a very long journey. It says the journey is 13 hours, but to be honest, it's probably going to be more like a 15-hour journey, because you have to include the lunch break you get a dinner break at a restaurant, also all of the stops in between. Sometimes there are delays. Also, about halfway through the journey, the bus gets a little wash at this bus terminal washing place. So yes, I don't recommend going directly from Fortaleza. It is a bit of a nightmare journey. However, if you do have to come from Fortaleza, I would recommend breaking the trip up. For example, you could stay a few days in Jericoacoara, which is between both Fortaleza and Barreirinhas. It's a nice little town. It's a beach town. You can spend a few days there, but without doubt, the better option, instead of coming from Fortaleza to get to Lençois Maranhenses, is to fly into the city of São Luís. Now, in general, flying into São Luís airport is probably going to be more expensive than flying into Fortaleza airport, because São Luís is a smaller airport and a lot of people who fly into São Luís are going to see the Lençois Maranhenses, so the prices generally hike up a little bit. To be honest, if you can afford it, just pay the extra money and fly into São Luís over Fortaleza, because that brutal bus journey from Fortaleza will wreck you. And then from the airport in São Luís, you can then take an Uber to the terminal Rodoviário São Luís. That's the bus terminal, and again you can go to the Guanabara stand and then buy your tickets there. There are multiple buses running every day, or alternatively you can use BusBud in advance to book the tickets online. You should not have any problem booking tickets with BusBud for this journey because it is a shorter journey. I think the reason why the BusBud website did not work for me to book my tickets from Fortaleza to Barreirinhas was probably because of the length of the journey, but this journey from São Luís to Barreirinhas is about a 4.5-5 hour journey, so it should not be an issue to book with BusBud. Additionally, I would recommend that you book your return journey back to São Luís or your return journey back to Fortaleza if you're really going to do that option. Book your return journey when you purchase your outbound journey. So when you go to that São Luís bus terminal and buy your outbound journey to Barreirinhas, I'd recommend you just buy your return ticket there at the machines there or at the counter, just so that you can guarantee your seats on the bus on the way back. Now, let me just mention a couple of things that you should bear in mind before visiting Lençois Maranhenses. When you are at the national park, the sun is really intense. You are not too far away from the equator, and when the sun is out, it is very hot. So I do recommend wearing a hat. My face was certainly very, very red after this day out. Secondly, when you go to the national park with your tour, you will go on these 4x4 trucks, and obviously when you are in the national park, the trucks will be traveling on sand. It gets very, very bumpy. If you are on the back of these trucks, you may be flying up into the air. So if you have kids, it may be fun for your kids, but if you are an older person and you have back pain, leg pain, arm pain, yeah, going to see the Lençois Maranhenses is probably not ideal because of the very bumpy journey you're going to have. So something to consider. I should add as well that you do get a lunch break in the middle of the tour for about 90 minutes. So you don't need to worry about bringing food with you because you have the lunch restaurant that you go to. Obviously, make sure you bring a credit card or some cash because you will have to make the payment yourself. The price of food is not included in the ticket of the tour. Obviously, bring lots of water with you. You will need the hydration, and internet will not be very good, of course, in the national park. So do make sure that you do have sufficient funds on your credit card if you're taking a credit card with you for your lunch. I would recommend, as a bare minimum, you spend 2 days in Barreirinhas. Probably 3 or 4 days would be more ideal. These clips here you can see were on a Saturday night when I was in Barreirinhas on a Saturday night. Very lively, lots of bars and restaurants and stuff, so you do have good options for that. Now, do let me know in the comments if you are planning a trip to Lençois Maranhenses sometime soon. It will be interesting to see. And if you have been to Lençois Maranhenses in the past, also do let me know. Let me know your experience. Did you enjoy your time there? If you did find the video useful today and you enjoyed it, don't forget to click like and subscribe to the channel. I will catch you in my next video.